Dear students, welcome to Law Excellence IAS. Today I will be discussing a question written by one of the students, an answer written by one of the students for a question posted in LAEX Weekly. Now, for the students, I always tell that follow this triangle model where you need to select an basic or else keyword. Over and above the keyword, you have to develop the content and then a good conclusion. So these are the three steps. So whenever you are writing a point, make sure that the point is simple, straight, and well substantiated. So from these principles, I will observe the today's answer of this student. So first we will evaluate the mistakes and then we will think how better we can present the same answer. Now see here, this young man, he wrote this question, universal basic income is a very distant proposition for India. It shall not be seen as a substitute to the existing welfare framework. Discuss. So here, if I go by my framework, I will take the universal basic income as a keyword and try to explain that. UBI is based on three propositions: universality, cash-based transfers instead of in-kind transfers, and third thing is it is unconditional. So I'll just write that simple introduction. So now let us see our friend's answer. Universal basic income, as he has selected a keyword over here. And then, but he has given a very heavy dose of introduction. He went to the Marx statement, so in which a decent society is one which draws from each according to their abilities, to each according to their needs. Yes, that's a very good statement. But however, there are two mistakes over here. So how many words are there in this? Almost 30 words are there in this. So for these 30 words, he wrote one single sentence. He started over here and he ended this over here. And linguistically, this is a very bad way of writing the answer. So it has to be in simple sentences that shall not cross more than 15 words. So if I am in this position, I will try to use this particular statement as a conclusion to the answer, because he is going to award me the marks after seeing the conclusion. So it gives a complete satiety to the examiner. And second thing is, what he wrote, UBI, it is claimed is that it would eliminate poverty and it leaves some over to actually raise public investment. See, is this statement is sending any message? Probably the student wanted to write that the money which is being spent on universal basic income, it will nurture the markets and create the demand for goods. From the demand, and new economy can be created. So that's what probably the point. But there are too many grammatical errors, and also he is unable to convey his point over here. Then what is the advice I can give it to the students? So just start with a side heading and start the answer. So then the side heading always makes you focus onto the point which you have to present. So let me say, so universal basic income as an anti-poverty program. So normally I'll put my own sentence over here. Universal basic income increases the choices for the people to spend their money. And second, it also provides for a fixed basic income, so it can reduce the people who are lying below the poverty line. And cash availability increases the demand for market goods, and so the production can increase in the society. So that is what is the point which he talks about. However, next let's take this point, this particular area. It is an unusual approach to poverty reduction that the non-poor who is in India are the majority, and some of whom are rich in international standards and given the income as the poorest. So now my question is, substantiate this is not ready for replacement of welfare schemes that are existing in India. So he is talking about the rich, but this question is being focused on the poor people. So why the rich has to be paid under universal basic income is his argument. Okay, I can distantly connect this point to the answer, but however, again, see, the number of words which he has used are many, and also 3, 4, 5 lines. It means around 30 to 40 words are being spent, and this is one single sentence again. So writing in one single sentence is not a good way of presentation of a paragraph. So remember this, one paragraph is not one statement, or one paragraph is not one single or else statement or else this thing. Next is, shifting the welfare programs to UBI would loosen the bonds of legal and social accountability. Yes, this is a right point which he has striken, and it is simplistically stated. And then, under the PDS, state must provide a specific quantity of food grains to the poor, no matter what. With UBI, it has the option letting the party pay behind side. I mean, I am not even able to understand what he is writing. So, so this is what is the problem which I see. So it has, then the answer is an abrupt end over here. So let us see how better we can present this. So if I am in his place, how I am going to write the answer? As I told to you, introduction, I will explain the UBI, and then in India, the poverty itself is changing. The poverty by birth is getting replaced by poverty by life. So it means that the life accidents are making the poor more vulnerable. So the Global Hunger Report also clearly states that migration, wars, and added to that climate change, these are making the people vulnerable. So in this context, universal basic income can provide a safety net to the poor. At the same time, it can also ensure you a better or else better targeting, or else targeting will be a thing of the past, and the transactional costs can get nullified, and corruption and other bureaucratic costs will also be reduced. So these are the positive aspects. Next is, the universal basic income is also discussed in the context of automation. So the UBI as a discussion in the West and East is very much different. In the context of India, it is seen by and large as an anti-poverty program. On the other side, UBI will enlarge the freedoms of the citizens, but it will also increase the fiscal strain on the government. It is expected that the GDP, 11% of the GDP need to be spent on this particular thing. And second is, the welfare programs, these are been created over years, and the distribution channels of the government are existing throughout the length and breadth of India, and the markets are not been well developed. And if it is given to the market forces, so does the basic amenities reach to the last mile or not is a major question. And the universal basic income is considered above the existing programs. At best, UBI can replace income based programs, but not basic education, health, etc. If education and health are left to the market forces, access and equity can become major questions. So, from this perspective, it can be concluded that universal basic income can be a fiscal burden, but at the same time, it can streamline the social programs and their delivery mechanisms. But it cannot be a substitute to the welfare programs, especially where the state role is involved. So that is what is my conclusion will be. So again, in my answer, I made sure that my sentences do not cross 10 words or 10 to 15 words at the maximum. And I make sure that there is a logical explanation. It means when I stated poverty dimension is changing, then obviously how is it changing? I will try to add one sentence. And how UBI will affect this change? Another point I am going to write about. It means whatever the point I am writing, I am substantiating the same. So this is how I like to present my answers for this question. So thank you very much and all the best. This is